24/7 Fusion Media.
Hey, what's up? It's your boy, 24/7 here with 24/7 Fusion Media, and we just got hit with this bit of news that the Russo Brothers are in talks to direct the next two Avengers movies. An exclusive coming from the Hollywood Reporter, which is pretty interesting considering that the Russo Brothers have shit-talked Disney and Marvel Studios over the poor choices of movies and television shows that have been released and going to Disney Plus. It's been a complete dumpster fire, and to see that Marvel's trying to reel them back in just shows how desperate Marvel is, and probably throwing a shitload of fucking money at the Russo brothers to return. So it says here the Russo brothers are in early talks to return to Marvel Studios to direct not just one, but two Avengers movies, sources tell the Hollywood Reporter. The hiring ends a months-long, high-stakes search by the studio for filmmakers to oversee the fifth and sixth Avengers movies. Multiple names were in contention, including Deadpool and Wolverine director Shawn Levy, who was offered the gig. Sources say the talks are in early stages. So obviously Shawn Levy has probably rejected the offer that Kevin Feige and Marvel Studios has given him. And I could understand why, because really what's there to work with when it comes to making the next Avengers movies if you either killed off your major heroes, or now they look like straight up dog shit because of all the shows and everything that Marvel has done since then to make them look ridiculous and not even worthwhile to even fuck with. We'll take it like as Hulk, for an example. Case in point taken right there. The move also marks the homecoming for the Russo, who jumped from the world of TV comedy on shows like Arrested Development and Community to blockbuster movies a decade ago with Captain America: The Winter Soldier in 2014. In total, they directed 4 of Marvel's biggest and best regarded movies, going on to helm Captain America: Civil War in 2016, Avengers: Infinity War in 2018, and Avengers: Endgame in 2019. Combined, their Marvel movies grossed $6.6 billion, with Endgame standing as the number 2 movie of all time globally with $2.79 billion. And if I'm not mistaken, I think that they were number 1 at one point, and I think they were beaten by James Cameron's Avatar when it was re-released in theaters. Number 1 and number 2 spot of all times, if I'm saying that right. All right, and it says here, it shows what the Russo brothers have been doing so far. The 5th Avengers movie was previously titled Avengers: Kang Dynasty and was to star Jonathan Majors as a time-traveling villain Kang, but Marvel cut ties with the actor due to his convicted assault and harassment charge back in December, which the whole world has dropped him at this point. Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings director Destin Daniel Cretton was once attached to direct the Kang Dynasty, but he departed a month before Major's conviction. Well, I mean, to be honest, Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings was a shit movie. It's a shit movie for all kind of reasons that I'm not going to get into right now, but fuck that movie. Feature is expected to get a new name and a new focus. The 6th Avengers film is Secret Wars, which is a storyline the Russos have long talked about wanting to adapt a pair of 1980 comic book series focused on an all-powerful antagonist known as the Beyonder, who in the first installment pitted Marvel's heroes and villains against each other on a planet known as Battleworld. A 2015 revival of the comic served as a climax to writer Jonathan Hickman's own multiverse saga, which sucked. Secret Wars was trash. And Jonathan Hickman is nowhere near what he used to be as a writer. So, yeah, this was an abomination, actually. Which has already had elements referenced in Doctor Strange of the Multiverse of Madness back in 2022, which was a fucked up movie. They didn't even let Sam Raimi do what he does best. So Marvel cucked him as a director to fucking put out a shitty movie about Doctor Strange that Scarlet Witch was the fucking star of. What a horrible fucking movie. And what an even more horrible thing to do to such a great fucking director as Sam Raimi. Why bring him in if you're not gonna let him do what he does best? What a shit move, honestly. In Hickman's Secret Wars, all of Marvel's multiverses are destroyed, with remnants surviving on a single planet ruled by the villain Doctor Doom. Well, Doctor Doom is not even established yet in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. So, first we'll have to see the Fantastic Four, which people are, I don't know, we're gonna have a fucking, a Spanish Ricardo Richards. Not Reed Richards, Ricardo Richards. So we don't even know what to fucking expect from a Fantastic Four movie because we haven't seen the Fantastic Four done right or anything close to it since the first Fantastic Four movie done by Fox with Jessica Alba, Chris Evans, and the rest of the team. That's the closest that we've gotten to a semi-decent Fantastic Four. And to be honest, Marvel Studios and Disney doesn't have the chops to give us the Fantastic Four the way we need to see them, with Jack Kirby's vision at the forefront of it all. So, at this point, what is left there to do to make any kind of Avengers movie worthwhile to watch when you have Avengers 5 set for May 1st of 2026 and Secret Wars set for May 7th of 2027? Why would anybody want to watch these particular movies? The only saving grace that Disney, Marvel, and Marvel Studios has would be the Fantastic Four and the fucking X-Men. Now, you got Wolverine and Deadpool that's gonna have people somewhat excited depending on what happens and what they see. They're gonna have people excited to see the X-Men or things familiar from the X-Men universe, which are gonna be coming from the old Fox properties. Then after that, you got the Fantastic Four. Now, are you gonna do anything with Blade? Are you gonna do anything with Ghost Rider? What's going on with the Punisher right now? Are we gonna see Luke Cage? Are we gonna see Iron Fist? There's a lot of characters there to pull from, but the thing is, you're gonna have to establish them first before you throw them all into a fucking movie together to see if people are gonna wanna watch this anyway. Are you gonna bastardize Ghost Rider now? What's gonna happen with the X-Men? Are you gonna have them looking like shit so that when you put them on the big screen, nobody's gonna wanna watch them? There's a lot of questions here. Are you really gonna adapt Secret Wars the way it's supposed to be adapted from the 1980s comic? Or are you gonna jump straight to Jonathan Hickman's piece of shit and make a movie out of that, out of multiverses that we have not yet seen yet, from characters that are not even established in the Marvel universe yet? What are we getting here? And the thing is, to make it work, Marvel's gonna have to establish all those characters and IPs so that people can be excited to see what's gonna happen when you put them all together. And what of the Avengers? The core Avengers? Who gives a fuck about looking at Hulk right now? People can't stand Mark Ruffalo as an actor, let alone his character is fucking cucked. Hulk is a bitch now. Can't stand the Hulk. And I love the Hulk. But after She-Hulk, nobody wants to see Hulk anymore. So what happens with him? Do we get a new Hulk? Or do we get this fucking Mark Ruffalo to come back to be more of a piece of shit on screen as the Hulk? Are we gonna get Miss Marvel? Are we gonna get Captain Marvel? Are we gonna get the Marvels involved in this? Are we gonna get Agatha Harkness? Or where the fuck that bitch's name is? I don't give a fuck. Like, what do we get here? And if we do establish the X-Men, who are we getting for the X-Men? Are we getting just Wolverine? Are we getting Colossus and some of the characters that we've seen in Deadpool? Are we getting a new Professor X? Or are we gonna get Patrick Stewart to come back? And what happens with all your street level characters like Daredevil, Punisher, and Luke Cage, and fucking Iron Fist, and Jessica Jones? What happens to them? And another saving grace you might have is Spider-Man, but he can't fucking hold the whole fucking Avengers movie. Why? Because he's just one man. He's not a fucking team. Nobody wants to see Ironheart. Nobody wants to see Miss Marvel. And you got Shang-Chi and She-Hulk and what's this? Anthony Mackie's Falcon Captain America. Nobody gives a fuck about these characters. But this is what we're left with, right? To fucking make an Avengers movie. There's a lot of work that has to be done before these Avengers movies come out so that people can be excited to see all these different properties and IPs come together, unified to fucking form a team. That's what Marvel did the first time around. Why the fuck can they do it again? Man, in one way it's cool, in another way it's pretty fucked up because there's nothing left to work with. And people are scared for Marvel to adapt the fucking X-Men and anything else because of how bad they treated everything else that they've had that was working for them. Jeremy Renner can't do shit, so we won't see him back as Hawkeye unless they CGI his ass in action, which would be pretty fucked up because his body's fucked up. What do you do about Chris Evans at this point? And Thor, after Love and Thunder, where the fuck does that leave Chris Hemsworth or Thor as a character? And Scarlett Johansson? I don't know, man. The Russos were behind her when she tried to take Marvel to court. Would they bring her back? I don't know, man. It's a lot of questions to be asked. There's a lot of questions that need answering to. And it just leaves everything in a fucked up state. It's, to be honest, this is the equivalent of bringing back George Lucas now after what's happened over the last 10 to 12 years with fucking Star Wars. Why? It's like you trying to bring him back to work with the bullshit that's left after everything's been fucking destroyed and burnt to the fucking ground. It's the exact same fucking thing. But that's my take. That's how I feel. You guys, let me know what you think about this in the comment section below. Are you excited? Do you give a fuck? Are you afraid of what's gonna transpire between now and 2026 and 2027? To see how this is even gonna fucking happen after everything's been fucking ran to the fucking dirt? Like I said, let me know what you think about this in the comment section below. And as always, it's your boy 24/7 here with 24/7 Fusion Media, and I'm out. Peace.